everyone, welcome back. For today's set, we're going to dive into some brand new colors from 915 Aesthetics. This video right here is going to be a great way to see these colors in action. We're also going to be using the gel method. We're going to be using the shape short coffin as well. We're going to start off here with the most beautiful green ever. We're going to give it a good stir, and we're going to start off with a little bit of this gel base here. So I apply a very thin layer to the gel base over the entire nail. I make sure I'm doing a very thin yet even coat. I start right below that cuticle line, and then I'll work that product all the way up. And we are dipping into the jar today, and if you want some more wiggle room, you can always go ahead and dump into the cupcake liner as well, just to give yourself a little bit more room. So here's the first color here, and I'm loving it. I really like how it has this like really beautiful like dark green aspect to it. It's not like that pop of green like that traditional bright green and red. I really like how these are just great staple colors to have. Even though they're definitely geared towards the holiday season, you can get a lot of use out of these colors, and I really like the simplicity behind them. They're very beautiful, and I really like how this has like this darkness to it. You're gonna see here, we're gonna build up this color and really bring it to its full potential. So we are using the gel method today, but you can use your dip liquids as well. So this video is going to be great. Not only are you going to be able to see these colors in action, you're going to see me do a little bit of nail art with using the gel method, and then you're also going to see clear encapsulation process with the filing and buffing while implementing the gel method. So you're really going to get a good kind of foundation on how these powders work with the gel method, and hopefully you pick up some tips and tricks on the way. But the best part is that you're really going to see these colors perform, and you're going to be able to tell if a color is going to be right for you. I really like seeing colors in action versus kind of navigating a website and looking at swatches. I really prefer to see the colors in action so I can see if a color is going to be right for me. There are tons of powders out there, but if you are looking for great quality, 915 Aesthetics has hands down the best powders out there. They're in my top 3 and they're amazing. So right here we have a really beautiful color. We're going to go ahead and cure that for a full 30 seconds. I'm going to open up a new bottle of gel base. I was just kind of scraping the bottle of that, or the bottom of that bottle of that other one right there, and we're just going to start fresh, and it was a game changer. All right, so again, we're doing a very thin layer of that gel base. Start right below the cuticle line and then work that product all the way up. Same method. If I was using my dip liquids, I would apply it exactly the same way. I like to start right below that cuticle line so I'm not flooding the underneath side of this press on. And like I said, we're going to take this color here to the next level. We're going to do 3 dips so you can really see this bold color payoff that you get with 3. So it's dark. I love how it has like a slight grayness to it. It's really, really pretty. It is by far the perfect green, and you can pair this with so many different things here. So I'm just gently pressing everything down, making sure everything is keeping the shape of the nail. You're going to see me do that a lot here. I spend a lot of time pressing everything down before we go ahead and cure into that light, because what's going to happen if I don't take that time and press everything down and then we go ahead and cure it, that powder is now cured and it's going to naturally create bulk and change the shape of that press on. So to keep that shape and just to make sure everything is laying super flat, I always go ahead and right here just press everything down. Me personally, I tend to carry a lot of the bulk right by that cuticle sidewall area, so I'll make sure I spend time on that. So right here you can see that color payoff here of the 3 dips versus 1. We cured, dusted off, and we're going right back in. So we are going to do the 3 dips on this nail as well. So you see in the upper left hand corner we have that beautiful red Noel kind of shining through, and originally we were going to use that color, but once I saw this green, I knew that I had to incorporate more of this beautiful green. So before I went ahead and placed that brush back into that gel bottle, I went ahead and wiped off that brush with a paper towel just to make sure I did not have any of this dark green left on that brush or any powders lingering behind, because I do not want to contaminate my gel base. Same thing like you do when you're going in with a second or third dip with your dip liquids. You always go ahead and wipe off that brush just to prevent any contamination. Now, a key indicator if your gel base has been contaminated over time, it is not going to apply the same. It's going to be a little bit thicker. It's going to look cloudier. And then if it has that cloudy effect, it is going to change the quality of that color. So like, let's say this gel base right here was contaminated, it would look a little bit foggy on the nail, and then you wouldn't get that true full potential of this beautiful green. And then eventually it's going to get super stringy, and then you might have problems curing. So those are a couple indicators if you do contaminate your gels with dip powder. Just, it is a very slow process, but over time it will affect those areas. So just keep that in mind. Always take that extra step and just wipe everything off. That's another reason why I like to use gloves when I am using any dip liquids or gels, just because I just want to make sure I'm not getting any of that on my skin. Even though all the gels that we're using today are a very gentle formula, they are a HEMA 21 free formula. I love the gel base from 915 Aesthetics. I'm completely out of that, so that's why we're switching into this one right here. But we are going to finish up this set later with the 915 Aesthetics gel top coat. All right, so we're just finishing up the pinky nail here, and I'm just, again, pressing everything down. I also enjoy the whole process of making press-ons. I just feel like just seeing like the colors just come to life and dusting off and just building up that color. It's just really fun for me. I really enjoy the whole like press-on process. My least favorite thing out of the whole process would be filing and buffing. So that is another reason why I do take just that extra time just to press everything down, making sure everything is laying super flat, because the flatter we can get everything before we cure, it does cut down on filing and buffing. So that's another helpful tip as well. So while you're finishing up this pinky nail here, I completely fell in love with this green. So we're going to hold off, like I said in the beginning, of using that beautiful red, and we're going to save that for later this week. So stay tuned. We will be using this color with another fun holiday glitter from 915 Aesthetics to create another set. So definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button. All right, so we're into this beautiful glitter here. This glitter complements the green that we just used and the red so well. I love how it has like this beautiful gold, but it's more of like kind of like a vintagey white gold. It's not, doesn't have a lot of brassiness to it. It just overall is so complementary to whatever color that you're using. So now to clean everything up, I'm just using this precision tool just to make sure I'm really focusing on removing any of those glitters from underneath that nail, because that's going to help with the application when we're applying that set when we're done, and it's going to give us a very clean finish for that application. So I always make sure, especially when we're working with glitters, just to spend that extra time making sure there's nothing underneath before we cure. So here's what we're working with. Everything's laying super flat. I'm very impressed by the glitter coverage here and just how flat these glitters are. These glitters are very easy to work with. We cured, we're dusting off, and we're gonna build it up with another layer here. So I'm doing a very thin layer of gel base. Another helpful tip when it comes to making press-ons is making sure that viscosity of your gel base is on the thinner side. The 915 Aesthetics is a great viscosity. The one that we're using right now from Sundara Nails is great, because what's going to happen is the thinner the viscosity is of your dip base, it's really going to help cut down that bulk factor as well. If you have like a thicker kind of gel base that you're working with, or if you're using a rubber base, just keep in mind that that is naturally going to create bulk. So you want to make sure you're doing very, very, very thin layers. So right here, we built up this perfect holiday sparkle here, and we're just going to spend time cleaning everything up and pressing everything down, making sure everything is laying super flat. I really love how the red is almost like a burgundy red paired with like this beautiful hunter green. It's like Christmas explosion right here on this nail, and I love it. I love the takeaway of these colors. A lot of times when you see companies coming out with colors, there's just like those very bright colors. I'm really enjoying like this subtle Christmas look, but you're still getting those beautiful traditional, just warm, heartful colors, and I love it so much. So right here, you can see these glitters are definitely laying really flat. Now, if you have like a pile of like those bigger circular glitters kind of stacked up in one area, definitely use that precision tool and just move those away before you cure. You want to make sure everything is just laying super flat, because you do not want to cut into those glitters when we get into that encapsulation process here in just a few minutes. So right here, I'm shaking that cupcake, and right there on that left-hand side, you can see all those finer glitters right here. I'm gonna focus on those finer glitters here for this dip, just to kind of see the comparison here. And I will say I'm loving the finer glitter look here. We have some fine glitters here, and we also picked up some of those medium size. So this formula right here, it's the finer glitters and medium glitters. There's not any of those big hexagon or circular glitters in here. I really like this combination. You're getting a lot of dimension still, and you're getting the ultimate sparkle here when we have these finer glitters mixed in with the medium size. And this precision tool is definitely a game changer when you're working with finer glitters, because it really gets into all those nooks and crannies here. But I'm loving this glitter. I'm not having any issues with this glitter to lay super flat. There is something very magical about 915 glitters, even if it is a chunkier glitter. I don't know where she gets the glitters from, but they're really high quality and they do lay really flat. So if you've ever struggled with any chunky glitter, definitely check out some of the glitters from 915 Aesthetics. They're just a dream to work with. So we're gonna continue building up this nail here, and while we're doing that, I'm just gonna touch base on how I apply my press-ons. So we're gonna start off with prep, and again, these are just things that work best for me personally with my lifestyle. I'm a busy mom of 2 boys, and I'm always on the go, washing dishes, cooking. So this is what works best for me personally, and my hands are always in water, so keep that in mind. All right, so for prep, I go ahead and make sure all my cuticles are pushed back, and then I'll go ahead, file and buff any nails that need to be trimmed or anything like that, and then I'll do moisturize. I'll do like a fun like scrub, hand scrub, the Beach Hut scrub, the body scrub works great on your hands as well. Then I'll do lotion and cuticle oil, and then I'm just gonna let my hands kind of just have a moment to breathe and let those cuticles kind of just have a moment to just absorb all the cuticle oil and lotion, and just have a moment to just settle down after we went ahead and just pushed all the cuticles back, because naturally when you are pushing that skin back, that delicate area, you are disrupting it, and it's slightly could be a little bit inflamed. So I just want to make sure everything is just calmed down before we go ahead and apply the press-ons. So then for application, what works best for me is right before I go to bed, I'll wash my hands, I'll take a lint-free wipe and make sure I'm removing any extra oils, residue that may be left behind on my nails. And I also make sure I'm getting right up there by that cuticle line, making sure any of that extra cuticle oil that we applied is completely gone, so we have a clean slate. So then what I do is then I go ahead and apply a layer of dip base on my natural nail, and then a layer of dip base on that press on, and then I'll go ahead and line it up and then push that nail down for a full 30 seconds, and then I'll repeat that process and apply the other nails. I start with my pinky first and then work my way all the way to the thumb, and I make sure I hold down for a full 30 seconds. I like using dip base. I feel like I get the best longevity. So we're going to pause on application here. So we're getting into that filing and buffing. I'm using that file from 915 Aesthetics just to clean up the shape. And then we are buffing here. This filing block is the best because it is the same size as your standard file that we just used. So you really have control over your buffing. It just makes it a little bit easier on the hand versus using like a square, rectangle, or one of those really tiny buffing blocks. This buffer file is a dream. So we are going to dust off here. And then here's my tip and trick. Everything's laying super flat. My filing is great. I am going to go in and we are going to hit this nail with some activator. So even though we are using the gel method, I'm still going to go ahead and activate the nails here just to bring this color back to life. It's also going to get rid of any of those harsh filing lines and bring this color back to life, because what's going to happen if I would have went right on top of this nail with the gel base or gel top coat, this color would be a little bit more cloudy just based alone on the filing. So now we're going to create a really easy design here. And what we're doing is we're using that gel base. I'm just kind of deciding where I want this line to be. Again, when you're doing nail art, make sure you're looking at the nail how it's going to be on your hand, because what's going to happen is it's going to be reversed otherwise if you're looking at that nail on the stand. And I'm using a nail art brush here, and we are just creating a design. You can create whatever design your heart desires when it comes to this look. This right here is an easy way to just kind of add almost like a simple color blocking effect using glitter, and it's way easier. It's going to cut down on bulk as well. And I do prefer filing and buffing the nail completely before I start this step, just for me personally, because it's going to help cut down on the bulk and it's going to look more natural on your hand. Now that we have our design completely done here. We are not curing. We are going to dip right into the cupcake liner here, and we're going to fill in this line and wait till you see it. I love how this turns out. I'm so excited. This glitter looks so good with this green. It's just like the perfect pop of sparkle. I really like the ratio of the finer pieces of glitter in here mixed in with those bigger pieces as well. We are going to clean everything up here using that precision tool, making sure we're focusing on the underneath side of that nail as well. Also, this would be the time to just make sure everything is pressed down. Make sure you have a very delicate hand when you are pressing everything down, because you don't want to disturb that design that we just did. And then if there are any big pieces of glitters kind of in the way overlapping, go ahead and use that precision tool or orange wood stick and just move those away. So again, pressing everything down, everything is laying really flat. I am loving how seamless this transition is with that design and the glitter here. So just making sure everything again is pressed down, and then we're just gonna go ahead and cure it for a full 30 seconds. And this is what we're working with. And I am loving it so much. This green and this glitter is everything to me. So we're gonna dust it off here, and then we are done with this set right here. I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit where we applied that glitter just to make sure there's no rough areas, and then that is it. This nail is done. We just need to go ahead, clear encapsulate it, do a little file and buffing, but that design, it is everything. And you can see here, that took like minutes to do. It was very easy to do than trying to do the color blocking with the tape and all that kind of stuff. So right now we're going to do a little bit of encapsulation here on this glitter nail. So I'm doing a layer of gel base over the entire nail, making sure I'm getting into all those nooks and crannies, wiggling that brush into all those areas, making sure we are completely covering this nail. We are still focusing on doing a very thin layer, but making sure we're getting into all those areas. And while that's curing, now we're going to go in with a layer of gel top coat, and I love the brush from this 915 gel top coat. It is amazing. It fans out perfectly on the nail, and it gets right below that cuticle line. It's a great brush. So we're applying the gel top coat to the entire nail, and then we're going to cure for 60 seconds, and then that nail is completely protected for the filing and buffing process. So this is how you encapsulate nails when you are using the gel method. All right, so we're almost done here. We're going to pop that in the light here. And now that that's cured, we're going to go in with a lint-free wipe here. It has rubbing alcohol on it. And just wipe off that nail here. And then we're going to go ahead and file and buff as normal. I'm also pretty heavy-handed, and I'm not experiencing any issues with cutting into these layers. The glitters are staying true to color. All right, so we touched base on application. I told you I like to use that dip base. I feel like the dip base just adheres a lot better than using a nail glue, and it gives me the longest longevity. So like I said, I start with the pinky nail first, a little bit of that dip base on the natural nail, and then dip base on the press-on, and then I'll go ahead and hold that down for 30 seconds. And then after I apply my set, I do it right before I go to bed. I do not apply any lotion or cuticle oil on my hands. I stay away from any hot water. I do not wash my hands after. I stay away from any like cooking or steam, anything like that. I just go right to bed, and that really gives that set that we just applied the best adhesion ever, because once you go ahead and apply those nails, if you go in with a lotion or a cuticle oil, you're naturally going to go ahead and break down that barrier, and you're not going to get longevity. So those are some helpful tips when it comes to application. Just apply them right before bed, stay away from lotions and cuticle oil, and hopefully you will get a long wear time. I can get about 11-day wear time when it comes to that method. All right, so here's what we're working with. I did the rest of the filing and buffing, and I am loving what this is looking like already. And then to seal up this mani today, we're gonna go right in with a layer of gel top coat. And again, we're finishing up with that 915 Aesthetics gel top coat. We're gonna apply it to all the nails here, and I am curing as we go for a full 60 seconds. Okay, so right here, I went ahead and finished up the rest of the top coat off camera. We have a glossy finish, so you can see what this set looks like with a glossy finish. It's beautiful, it's everything, but we're gonna take it up a notch and really see what these colors look like from every aspect. So we're gonna throw in a matte top coat. I just felt like these colors needed a moment to shine with the matte top coat as well, so you could see what a velvet finish would look like. We're gonna go in with the 915 Aesthetics matte top coat as well. And even though we are doing a matte top coat, I still would have did the same thing. I would have did a layer of gel top coat on the entire nail and cured for 60 seconds. Then I would have went in with the matte top coat because that would prevent any streaking. So if you just went in with the matte top coat without a barrier of top coat first, it would look really streaky and patchy. So just keep that in mind. So here's what the set looks like with a velvety matte top coat. I love it. It's a total game changer from glossy to matte, and I'm living for this set right here. You can see all those glitter colors really just come to life with a matte finish. You still have these fun accent nails with the glitter. They're still screaming holiday season, but it's like a little bit more subtle, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. I really enjoyed working with these new colors from 915 Aesthetics. They're great. They worked wonderful with the gel method, but either way, you could do dip liquids or the gel method, to each their own, but I'm really loving how this looks right here with a matte finish and just the glitter and then how the light hits the glitters. It's definitely chef's kiss. All right, so stay tuned. Don't forget, we will be playing with the other colors that were released from 915 Aesthetics here on my channel in just a few days, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. I hope some of these tips and tricks with the gel method and press-ons were helpful. We'll definitely get into the removal process on the next video, so stay tuned for that. We just ran out of time here, but I loved playing with these colors. They worked great with the gel method, and everything that we did use in today's video can be found in that description box below. Just click on that Dropbox arrow and then you'll see everything. All right, so thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you're all getting ready for the holiday season. I can't believe it's already December 10th, and I will see you all in the next one.